What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, and you're tuned into our new series, Prison Stories. You're going to hear a story from somebody who's either lived it, witnessed it, or experienced it. These stories are going to turn the hairs on your back up and have your motherfucking toes curling. These stories ain't no fucking joke. You guys think this fucking is a game? This ain't no motherfucking game. Anything could happen to you in prison. And these are prison stories.
Hi, Carla showed again. Now I'm going to be speaking a little bit about fears and what fears can do to you. When got locked up in 1990 for my 3 strikes, they put me in a small 6x8 room, which was not my type of space, too small. I have a fear of enclosed quarters and being by myself in there. And I had to stay in there for 30 days. First few days weren't too bad. But by day 5, I had to deal with me and all my mental issues. Bipolar, a fear of people, also multiple personalities. And then I started convincing myself, well, you're afraid of this small space because you can barely move, barely turn, can't go out. You might get 1 hour a day out, if I was lucky. Because they didn't care much for me, so they kept me on punishment. But that punishment to me was like, I would sit, I would scream, I would laugh like crazy, and then all of a sudden I'd just start crying and felt like I cried a river of tears because of my fear of being alone, locked up in one small room. And then forgetting I'm there and don't come back. I had a lot of those fears. It comes from my childhood. But then I was like, okay, I'm not alone. I got 11 more. All of me. 12-pack in one. So now I'm sitting in this little bitty room and I'm looking around, and by this time I'm starting to pull my hair one by one because I'm going crazy. I wanted to write. I couldn't write because my fears that they might see what my mind is thinking and I might get locked in there longer. And then my personality started talking to me. And then voices that I would hear. And sometimes the voices that I heard were wicked. They would tell me to do the most ungodly things. And they would try to convince me when either they're bringing my food tray or they take me out for my little 1 hour that I might get, that I could do something to them. So I had to sit in there and face the fear of this little tiny box, I call it, because a 6x8 is not my size, like I said. And by me facing them fears, I had to also deal with 11 more. And then I'd be like, okay, Jeannie, she was my evil one. I have blackouts with her. I'll sometimes remember when she comes, but then I sometimes don't. And I would ask her, why did you do this? Where am I at? Look what you've done. I'm locked in a space that I'm fear. And she just started laughing at me. And then I have my Tasmanian devil personality. he'd come flashing in. Oh, you can do this. You can take that guard down when they come. My brain started hallucinating because of my fears of being locked in one small room. And the only way that I literally survived every one of them fears and dealing with the voices, the people that aren't there. They're in my head. But the only way I made it through was I talked to God. I talked to my guardian angels every day. I would sit there and go like this and just look out the window. What little window I had, it was a square that I could look through with bars. And just pray for strength to carry me through this fear. And then I hear the keys clinking and coming down the hall. I was, oh God, here they come. Are they going to take me out? And sometimes I would ask to go out and take a shower. Well, the showers ain't working today in this dorm. We're having the plumbing working. I'm like, oh my God, there's just this claustrophobic little hole is going to drive me insane. I would get suicidal thoughts. I would get thoughts of hope. But I had more suicidal thoughts than I did hope. And then at the end, when they finally came and got me, it was like, yes, prayers have been answered. But when they took me from there, it wasn't much better. Because they put me in a big dorm with all the bad girls. And 30 days of living in solitary confinement is a time that you talk to yourself, learn yourself, search. And because you have no one else to talk to but you. There's no other inmate. It's dark and it's cold. And at one time they had me on suicide watch, where they take all your clothes and sheets from you so you can't hang yourself, and they put you in a padded cell. I made it there for 2 days. Like I said, I had suicide thoughts and everything else went through my brain in that cell. So when you're in that type of a predicament, it's not going to be the easiest to deal with. And you have to find some power somewhere through either spiritual or mind control over your own mind, so that you don't lose it and go totally crazy. Because when they came in that one time and put me on the watch, I had ripped a piece of my sheet off, so they thought I was trying to kill myself. But actually, I was trying to use it for a hair tie, but I couldn't convince them because of all my issues. And they heard me talking to myself and talking to the people that aren't there in real life, but they are there because they're part of me. It's a very mind-controlling, consuming time of life when you're facing fears. It's, how could I say, it's something that you have to dig deep down in your soul to find an answer for, so that it doesn't ruin you or control you. The answers are buried deep within your own soul. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you could find them answers, you could make it. I just know one thing, to never try and go to jail again, because I wouldn't survive another 30 days in another lockdown. Because, well, today it might be easier, but I'm not going to try it to find out, because it puts a lot of pressure on your brain. Your brain goes in many different directions. Some can handle it easily and some can't. And those that can't find it very hard to survive it. And especially if you have any type of claustrophobia or fears, it's going to make it even harder. Because it's not like a normal jail cell where they have lights at a certain time of the day. They turn them off at a certain time of the night. Everybody gets on their bed and goes to bed. In solitary confinement, you only get a pencil and paper at a certain time because they don't want you to stab yourself in there. It's not very bright in there, and the gloomy does not help mental issues. The gloomy and darkness of it, and you're treated much differently by the guards when you're in lockdown. Because they literally are like, you're here for a reason. You deserve nothing. And that itself can be very traumatizing to a person. Just the treatment that you receive and the issues that you might go through. I want you young ladies, older women, young men, whoever may be watching this story, to know that even if you think your mind is the sanest of the world, if you get put in solitary lockdown and you're in there for any more than 5 days, at the most, I would say, sometimes sooner for some, that your mind will start hallucinating, seeing things, hearing things, and you'll start freaking out because you have no freedom at all. And that is one of the most traumatizing times that there can be. So I hope in many ways that this message reaches many and gives you some kind of understanding of what confinement could be like. Imagine yourself being locked in a closet and a chain put on that door and you have no access to get out. And you're left there for 30 days. What are you going to do? Imagine the darkness, the scariness of it, and what your mind might do. Because every person deals with it differently. Not everyone is the same. So I hope and I pray that none of you get locked up, get put into solitary confinement, because, and especially if you have fears of confined spaces, because then it's going to make it even harder for you. Or any fears at all. I have fears of isolation, small spaces, and people because of life I've led. And it's not easy. Even in wide open spaces, I have problems. But you've got to learn to deal with them. Learn to make changes. Because solitary confinement is the worst place to be. Don't let it destroy you.
For all the viewers and subscribers who would like to become part of the supporting crew at $4.99 a month and contribute to the Fresh Out channel, this is what you'll be getting. An exclusive look at all up-and-coming Spreads episodes. Learn what ingredients and recipes are used in prison to elevate the eating experience and how to get creative with what's available. Get your name in the credits. By becoming a member to the channel, you are directly helping us create better content, and as an acknowledgement, your name will be shown in the credits of the Fresh Out interviews. You will also gain exclusive members only access to footage that has never been seen before from our archives, unreleased episodes, behind the scenes, bloopers, and that gritty stuff you guys like to talk about, but we can't really share on the regular YouTube channel. Biannually, you'll also get a commissary package. First 6 months, membership will get an apparel package of Fresh Out clothing, and the next 6 months you guys will get a spreads package with all the recipes and ingredients you'll need to bust that fat ass spread. Last but not least, as an additional perk for supporting the channel and helping us create bigger and better content, all members get an exclusive discount code to use in the Fresh Out commissary store. You'll receive 10% off all orders, no matter how big or small, and this is for unlimited use. Not a one-time thing. You'll get to use this 10% whenever you want, as long as you're a paid member. All this will be available in the community tab for all you paid exclusive members. You will also get to represent the Wig Splitter crew. All members to the channel will receive this dope Wig Splitter badge icon that appears next to your name whenever you post on the channel. I've got your back on the open talks, and we'll be able to answer your questions as a priority. And sometimes, man, you just got to represent. We also support non-profit charities. After YouTube takes their cut of the $4.99, we will donate a percentage of all membership revenue to a worthwhile cause every quarter. Well, that's it, you guys. We hope you guys take that step and become a paid member and support us so we can travel to your state or your town and do an interview and keep bringing you this dope content. But remember, guys, the channel's still free, but there are a lot of perks to becoming a paid member. Big Herc, Fresh Out. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.